You're done. Duan Lingtian heard Feng Wu Dao's voice just after he left the inscription formation and returned to the gorge. Yes. Duan Lingtian lightly smiled as he nodded, and he seemed to have encountered something good, causing him to seem refreshed. Then let's go. Feng Wu Dao nodded, and then he once again condensed his origin energy into an enormous sword before carrying everyone including himself to flash through the sky and head directly towards the Darkhan dynasty. On the way, Duan Lingtian, who dealt with all of his trivial matters, had finally calmed his heart down completely. Duan Lingtian held the wind concept fragment as he cleared his mind and comprehended wind concept. Presently, the advancement of his origin energy had already arrived at the limits of the 9th level of the void initiation stage under the assistance of the rebirth pill. What he had to do was to comprehend intermediate concept and smoothly break through to the void interpretation stage. The entire journey was smooth and calm, and Duan Lingtian's returned smoothly to the Darkhan dynasty and the Feng clan. Duan Lingtian put up temporarily in the Feng clan estate and silently comprehended wind concept. Of course, he would occasionally leave the Feng clan estate with Feng Tianwu, and they would stroll about the capital while buying some materials needed for weapons refinement, refining medicinal pills, and inscribing. So long as there was a large-scale auction held in the capital, Duan Lingtian would go join in the fun with Feng Tianwu, so he obtained quite a number of rare materials. Unknowingly, 3 months had passed. Duan Lingtian and Feng Tianwu had just left an auction house when Feng Tianwu couldn't help but ask, "Big brother Duan, you seem to be extremely happy from obtaining that piece of strange metal earlier. What's special about it?" Tianwu, when that piece of metal I obtained is combined with the materials I gathered earlier, then so long as I become a grade 2 weapons craftsman, I'll be able to use them to refine a grade 2 spirit weapon. Duan Lingtian smiled. Grade 2 spirit weapon? Grade 2 weapons craftsman? Feng Tianwu was slightly shocked, and in next to no time, she recalled that Duan Lingtian was already a grade 3 weapons craftsman, causing her to come to a sudden understanding. No wonder you're so happy, big brother Duan. It turns out that it's equivalent to having half a grade 2 spirit weapon in your possession. Feng Tianwu was happy for Duan Lingtian. The day to depart towards the northern desert to participate in the martial competition of the 10 dynasties is in a little more than a month away. At that time, I wonder if we have to leave with the others. Duan Lingtian's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. Big brother Duan, you don't want to go with them? Feng Tianwu asked. I want to go around alone, as there's much more freedom in this way. Duan Lingtian smiled. Besides the various dynasties, there was only the boundlessly vast foreign lands outside the Darkhan dynasty. When he left this time, Duan Lingtian really wanted to make stops and enjoy the view on the way to his heart's content while experiencing some tempering, as it was more interesting this way. If he followed and left with the large group, then journey wasn't something he could decide on. Then I'll tell father later. At that time, we won't leave with the others, said Feng Tianwu. Okay. Duan Lingtian replied before smiling. Let's return first. Duan Lingtian's mood was extremely good during these past few days because he'd already touched the threshold to the 9th level of wind concept, and he was confident he would completely comprehend 9th level wind concept in 3 days. Once he comprehended 9th level elementary wind concept, then he would have the chance to touch the 1st level of intermediate wind concept. At that time, his origin energy would smoothly transform into the origin energy that belonged solely to void interpretation stage martial artists. While some were in delight, others were not. While Duan Lingtian was feeling happy about his wind concept that was about to undergo a transformation, the Imperial Palace wasn't calm. Within a beautifully decorated audience hall in the depths of the Imperial Palace, the Darkhan dynasty's emperor sat upright at the top. His expression seemed gloomy as his gaze that was like a bolt of lightning descended onto a black-clothed old man in the audience hall. Imperial Uncle, I want to hear your opinion. The black-clothed old man's brows knit tightly as he said slowly, I'm truly unable to wrap my head around this. Not to mention Imperial Brother was a careful person that wouldn't make a move lightly without sufficient confidence. Even if Feng Wudao really followed by Duan Lingtian's side, he might not be able to protect Duan Lingtian. According to my knowledge, Feng Wudao hasn't broken through to the void transformation stage. Based on the current circumstances, something has happened to Grand Imperial Uncle. Otherwise, why hasn't he returned after Duan Lingtian has already returned for 3 months? The Emperor's tone was heavy. There are only 2 possibilities to what happened to Grand Imperial Uncle. He was either killed by Feng Wudao or killed by another expert. But, even if Feng Wudao caught up and broken through to the void transformation stage in the past 2 years, he might not be a match for Grand Imperial Uncle. Otherwise, would the Feng clan willingly be placed below our imperial family? So I feel the possibility that Feng Wudao killed Grand Imperial Uncle is extremely low. The Emperor finished speaking in a single breath, yet his brows knit tightly together. If it wasn't Feng Wudao that did it, then who was it? Moreover, if something had really happened to Grand Imperial Uncle, then once the news spreads, our Darkhan dynasty's imperial family will be in a precarious position, and we even might be replaced. The emperor's grand imperial uncle was the god of protection of the imperial family, and he was the biggest reliance of the Darkhan dynasties to display might to deter all the forces around it. Perhaps, Imperial Brother has encountered something that caused him to temporarily not return. I can't think of anyone besides Feng Wu Dao that can threaten Imperial Brother in the Darkhan dynasty. The black-clothed old man continued. No matter what, this piece of news must be locked down and must not be spread out. Don't worry, Imperial Uncle, besides he himself, only you, and I know that Grand Imperial Uncle made a move against Duan Ling Tian. So long and you and I don't speak of it, then there will absolutely be no third person that knows of this matter, said the Emperor. Bang! In a spacious pavilion's roomy courtyard, a young man in white clothes fiercely crushed the teacup in his hand to powder. Big brother! The beautiful woman that was watering the flowers nearby was startled by the young man in white clothes. Yan, sorry. I accidentally crushed my cup. The young man in white clothes was precisely Zi Shang, and he squeezed out a trace of a smile that was even more unsightly than a crying expression before returning to his own room. Big brother! The beautiful woman, Zi Shang's younger sister, Zi Yan, couldn't help but be slightly worried when she saw this scene, and she muttered, "You're getting angry because of Duan Ling Tian again." When she thought up to here, a trace of helplessness flashed within Zi Yan's beautiful eyes. After he returned to his room, Zi Shang's expression instantly darkened, and he grunted. Duan Ling Tian is really lucky, he's actually still alive until now. Could it be that His Majesty didn't make a move against Duan Ling Tian? He left the capital for almost 2 months, yet such a good opportunity was missed. Now it's even more difficult to kill him. Zi Shang was slightly infuriated as he didn't know what the Emperor was doing. That day, after he instigated the Emperor had obviously aroused interest towards the incomplete Devil Seal tablet in Duan Ling Tian's possession, yet Duan Ling Tian was still well and living after almost 5 months of time. There's no need to be impatient. Right at this moment, a ghastly and aged voice sounded out in Zi Shang's mind. Even if the Darkhan dynasty's imperial family doesn't deal with him, could it be that you're worried you won't be able to find a chance in the future? You're about to leave the Darkhan dynasty and head to the boundlessly vast foreign lands. Not to mention anything else, once you arrive at the foreign lands, so long as you leak the news to those powers of the foreign lands that the Devil Seal tablet in Duan Ling Tian's possession is capable of providing an amplification of 100%, they would similarly be interested with the Devil Seal tablet. Duan Ling Tian won't be jumping around for long. Leak the news to the powers of the foreign lands and make them obtain that broken Devil Seal tablet. Even though it's comparatively more difficult to seize it back from them in the future, it's better than seizing it from Duan Ling Tian. The ghastly and aged voice continued to sound out, and it caused Zi Shang's eyes to light up as if he was suddenly enlightened. Elder Ghost is wise. I don't believe that the powers of the foreign lands are as cowardly as the Darkhan dynasty's imperial family. Duan Ling Tian, wait for the great present I'm about to send your way. Unknowingly, the gloominess on Zi Shang's face dispersed completely, and replacing it was a dense smile. But no matter who saw this smile, they would feel that it was slightly cold. Feng Clan Estate, in the estate within the estate. 2 days had already passed since he returned from the auction that day. Duan Ling Tian hadn't taken a step out of his room during these past 2 days, and it was even to the extent that Duan Ling Tian didn't even eat. Whoosh! Suddenly, the spacious room was instantly enveloped by a gale that appeared out of thin air, and the gale ceaselessly swept out to cause the windows to creak and tremble intensely. Bang! Finally, the window at the side of the room was instantly pushed open by the gale, and then the gale seemed to have found an exit as they gushed out directly and blew the plants and flowers outside the window to the point of swaying. Right at this moment, the gale that wasn't supplied with any more energy from behind had gradually died down. That gale that had stopped halfway was completely withdrawn by a single person within the room. On the bed in the room, Duan Ling Tian sat cross-legged while his body was suffused by strands of almost material azure energy, and the azure energy coiled around him to cause him to seem slightly illusory. Suddenly, Duan Ling Tian opened his eyes and a bright light flashed within them. At the same time, Duan Ling Tian's figure slightly shook as the azure energy that coiled around his body whistled as they flashed out. Every time they flashed out, it would cause the airflow in the sky to tremble slightly and emit a wave of light and muffled howls. Whoosh! At the same time, everywhere the strands of material azure-colored energy flashed in the sky, it would cause the energy of the heavens and the earth to roil. In the end, a phenomenon of the heavens and the earth was forcefully condensed in the sky above Duan Ling Tian. A total of 9 ancient horned dragon silhouettes, and it was the symbol of 9th level elementary concept. 9th level elementary wind concept. I've finally succeeded. A delighted smile bled on Duan Ling Tian's face as these few months of hard work wasn't wasted in the end. Now, I'm only a step away from the void interpretation stage. I don't have to worry about origin energy with the assistance of the rebirth pill. What I lack is comprehension of concept. As he muttered, the smile on Duan Ling Tian's face grew even more brilliant.